To start, we are going to introduce global warming and climate change. Global warming is the phenomenon of the increasement in the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and the oceans in the last decades. Climate change is the modification of the climate regarding to climate history. Climate change is usually used inappropriately to refer only to changes that happen nowadays, using it as a synonym of global warming, and it is not the same. The climate refers to the average conditions that are maintained over a long period of time in an area, while the weather is the state or conditions of the atmosphere over a short period of time, and it's not the same.
There are some facts that cause climate change. There are both human and natural causes. The primary cause of climate change is the burning of fossil fuels, such as oil and coal, which emits greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, primarily carbon dioxide. Other human activities, such as agriculture and deforestation, also contribute to the proliferation of greenhouse gases that cause climate change. The natural variability of the climate system have always been part of the Earth's history. However, there have been a change in concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, growing at unprecedented rate and magnitude.
The gender of sea turtles changes due to the temperature. With low temperatures, under 25 degrees Celsius approximately, males are produced, while with warmer temperatures between 26 and 30 degrees Celsius, females are produced. Climate change affects that fact because if the average temperature increases, there will be more males than females. Moreover, it affects their eggs because the warmer sun increases the number of offspring. This species has developed according to the annual weather temperatures to have a balanced number of male and female offspring, and if this proportion disappears, the number of sea turtles could decrease because of the lack of one of the genders. All in all, if climate change continues increasing temperatures, sea turtles will be extinct. Climate change makes the sea level rise because of the thawing. So if sea turtle nests are placed a few meters from the sea water, they will be destroyed by this fact and the descendants will decrease. If climate change continues, temperatures will continue increasing, because in the last 100 years it has already increased around 1.5 degrees Celsius. In consequence, the sun will be warmer so the eggs will not be able to be incubated.
One of the most important consequences of climate change is the increase of the Earth's temperature. It could make weeds, pests, and fungi grow and develop fast. Firstly, it would have economic effects as people who earn a living from crop yields would have to spend money on chemical products to protect the crop yields from harmful things like fungi. For example, pesticides, which are sprays capable of killing this plague. It leads to ecological problems, as these products are harmful not only for people who use them, but for the environment and, what is more, for the ozone layer. A good example of an affected area could be the USA. It produces the 41% of corn in the world and the 38% of soybeans. Unfortunately, they have been damaged by the climate change.
A tropical cyclone is a meteorological term used to refer a stormy system, characterized by a close circulation around a low-pressure center of low pressure and produce a strong wind and heavy rain. The combination of heat and humidity leads to the formation of many storms that can develop a tropical cyclone. These cyclones increase every year due to climate change. One of the consequences is the increases of extreme temperatures. It's also due to the increase in temperatures in the jet streams and air corridor at high speed found in the atmosphere. It mobilizes, causing change in the hot air flow on the atmosphere.
Extreme weather events increasing. Now we need 2 plastic bottles, silicone and colored ink. It is about simulating the intensity and frequency of extreme weather events, and we will reproduce a tropical cyclone. First, we fill Halfway, one bottle with water mixed with color ink and join it with other empty bottle. Their caps must be confronted and punctured. Then, and finally, turn the bottles upside down and it will form a small cyclone.
Climate change affects wildlife. They only have two options: to survive, adapt, or move. However, climate change is happening too fast to let animals adapt or move, so they die. It will make some species disappear. These are polar bears suffers the problem that the ice melts in the Arctic. If this continues, they will disappear in 75 years. Sea turtles suffer pollution from the sea and tourists develop them, where they nest. For Bengal tigers, the situation is not much better. It is calculated by 2060 their entire habitat will be destroyed and 16% of them will disappear. For the penguins, ice melting in their natural habitat. The problem for the whales is the migratory route because the routes are affected by the change of ocean's temperatures. For the kangaroos, their habitat is being destroyed due to the increase of the temperature and the droughts. The problem of the elephant is the deforestation and agriculture change. The orangutan suffer deforestation, agricultural change, and forestal fires.
It is possible that some coastal cities disappear because one of the main consequences of the global warming is the increase of the sea level due to the thawing in the solid earth. It is the fact of the Antarctica as the thawing of floatings don't increase the sea level by the Archimedes principle. All of this causes floods in the coastal cities which in time will be submerged.
Rising sea levels is due to the melting of the polar ice caps because of climate change. It causes more storms than damage and are more frequent as it is caused by rainfall and storm and intensified floods and more damage. Moreover, heat waves contribute to the human deaths.
It is called the greenhouse effect to the phenomenon by which certain gases at the atmosphere retain part of the energy that the floor emits by being heated by the solar radiation. The greenhouse effect is accentuated on Earth by the emission of certain gases. This phenomenon prevents that the energy constantly received from the sun by the Earth returns immediately into space. It is said that it is good for biosphere. Certain gases, components of the atmosphere, retain part of the energy that comes from the sun to prevent it from returning to space immediately. This is because the climate system must be in equilibrium. That means that the solar radiation that the atmosphere receives must be compensated by the radiation that expels the Earth into space. As if the solar radiation that we receive was greater than the radiation that expels the Earth to the outside. It will produce heating and otherwise it will produce cooling. Any alteration of this climatic balance, whether it is due to natural causes or caused by human activity, will lead to a change of climate. Because of that, they must be compensated so that the planet has a pleasant temperature, neither much cold nor much heat. Based on this, the greenhouse effect is good for the biosphere as it depends on solar energy. That means that if there was no natural greenhouse effect, it would produce an imbalance in the climate, which would cause extreme temperatures on the planet. This imbalance would not leave room for development of life on our planet. In addition, this effect.
Now let's explain a little the gases that form greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases enter the atmosphere in two different ways: through a natural process such as human respiration or plants respiration. The other way is through human activity, such as manufacture of plastic elements or the extraction or combustion of coal. Some gases are CO2. The main sectors that use these fossil fuels are transportation, public services, and industrial production. A major source of CO2 is the extraction of fossils and petroleum and gas byproducts. The carbon factories are also CO2 producers in large numbers. Ozone. It is a compound very similar to the oxygen we breathe. In addition, ozone is also a natural component of the atmosphere. Its concentration is much lower than the oxygen itself. It has its origin mainly in the chemical reactions from other pollutants. Methane. Like CO2, the source of methane may be either natural or a product of human activity. Human activity is the source of higher methane emissions. Some of these pollutants are fossil fuels, landfills, and manufacture from agricultural activity. Nitrogen oxide. Humans are responsible for 96% of nitrogen emissions. Almost all emissions are caused by three factors: artificial fertilization, fixed and mobile sources of combustion of fossil fuels, and manufacture. And finally, fluorinated gases. They are the product of man's hand through industrialization. These gases are the only gases that participate in the greenhouse effect and are not naturally occurring. They are used in the production of refrigerated systems, aerosols, foams, so on.
Another phenomenon caused by the climate change is called El Niño. Most people think that the decrease of water is due to the droughts caused by the heat of the climate change. However, in some parts of the planet, such as Peru, where the river Santa is located, what climate change causes are heavily rainfalls, and that's why it wouldn't make sense the fact that the river loses water. This phenomenon called El Niño is related to the global warming, specifically in the Pacific, and it involves changes in the temperature of the ocean's water.
As a society, we have organized our lives depending on the historical and actual weather conditions. We are used to climate temperatures we find normal, and we are sensitive to extreme ones. In fact, one of the most frequent worries about the future is if we will be able to adapt ourselves to a lifestyle where the climate is totally different. Climate has an enormous impact in our food, the energy we use, the work we make, and the way we spend our free time. It can also affect our health, from allergies and sunburns to respiratory illnesses. Agriculture can alter climate change, mostly because of the production and liberation of greenhouse effects, gases, and the alteration of the planet's surface. Another example that can cause this are coast flatulencies. Although you may think it is a joke, coast flatulencies are a controversial fact among scientists. They are sacs of air mainly formed by methane. A small quantity of methane on Earth is good, as it helps to retain heat on the atmosphere. However, the problem starts when there is too many methane. The layers of the greenhouse become thicker, retaining excessive heat.
As we have seen throughout this project, we can make sure that climate change and its consequences exist. We can also see the effect from that change in our health or existence, and to prove it, we base on many scientific evidences. Environmental, as the emission of gases to the atmosphere because of the burning of fossil fuels, and sanitary, gas poisoning, which in some cases produces cancer.